Hi guys, it's DFX. Welcome back to the channel. On this episode, we're gonna dive into another aspect of my collection. You've seen many different pins and whatnot displayed on some of my cosplays and uniforms from Star Trek. Well, we're gonna go a little deeper, and I have other pins to show you as well. Let's get into it. So, all the pins you're going to see, I've collected from who have become very close, well, friends of mine out there in the Star Trek community. They're from Fansets. I've talked about these guys before. I've done some other pins and showed you other pins from Fansets, but I'm just going to show you pretty much everything that I've collected from these guys over the years. Like I said, they've been very big, help people in my costuming for when I do Star Trek cosplays. We're going to start this off. I think this was one of the first pins I ever picked up from Fansets, and at the time I wasn't doing the cosplays yet until much later, but right off the bat, this is the first pin that I ever got from Fansets. It was the Star Trek The Next Generation 30th anniversary pin. And yeah, there it is. I got this, I think, at one of the Starfest conventions when they were still going down in the Denver area. But yeah, this was my first convention pin. And yeah, always still wrapped up. I haven't even taken it out of the sack. But yeah, 30 years when Star Trek The Next Generation was on, and they made a little pin for it. Next up, this was kind of the final, one of the final Starfest pins. They did a pin for Starfest every year, and this was the final one. It's not Star Trek. They went kind of a different route because some of the other Starfest stuff was actually Star Wars. So this was a cool pin. I did pick this up, and it's, of course, Princess Leia from Return of the Jedi. But this was, I think, one of the final Starfest pins. I actually do have another one, which I'm going to show you right now. Due to COVID, so this one's really kind of special. Due to COVID, Starfest was canceled for a year. And when they came back, well, I think it was a couple years. But when they came back, they did their final Starfest pin was Grogu from The Mandalorian. Really cool. Kind of one of my these two pins are kind of like special and meaningful to me because it was from Starfest, a convention I attended for a long time in the Denver area. So when they branched off and Star Trek Picard became a big thing, they started doing other pins for the other series, and this was one of the first Star Trek Picard pins that I bought. It was the Visitor's pin that Patrick Stewart wears in the pilot or I think the first or second episode of Star Trek Picard. Really cool, and it is an actual pin. Got the rubber clasps on the back. Really cool. I wanted to get the actual communicator pin that they used throughout the whole Star Trek Picard series. When I got this pin right here, I didn't realize that it was a micro version. It was mini, small. I actually wanted the full size Delta, which I'll show later on here in this video. But yeah, this was kind of cool. And it is a pin as well. Going back to Starfest, they did do an actual magnetic Delta pin from the episode Future Imperfect from Star Trek The Next Generation. And it's the one where Riker, he was a captain for about, I don't know, the first part of the episode, and then they found out that it was, spoiler, was kind of a holodeck recreation. But another spoiler, it really wasn't a holodeck recreation either. Go out and watch it. It's a very interesting episode. It's where he has a family and he's on the Enterprise and he's the captain. It's one of my favorite episodes from the series. Moving on, Lower Decks came along, and I wanted, of course, the Lower Decks Delta, and this is only one of two deltas that I've gotten. This one is from just the episode, the series in a whole. And like I said, I've put others on my cosplay, and I'll show you those here in a minute as well. But yeah, this is also a pin. It's before I really started getting the magnetic ones, but so now they won't punch holes in my costumes. Okay, moving on here. Sticking with the Lower Decks theme. Actually, I wanted to let you all know, other than Star Trek: The Next Generation, Lower Decks happens to be probably my favorite newer Star Trek. Yeah, and the last season of Star Trek Picard probably are the best in the new Star Treks that they have out there for me. I don't know. I'll maybe go into this in a different episode, but I'll talk about the reasons for that later on. But like I said, sticking with the Lower Decks theme, I happen to be wearing on my, Fansets put out a couple other pins for Lower Decks involving this little character that I never thought it would be such a huge character, but he's known as Badgie, and you need to watch Lower Decks to understand who Badgie is. But I have this one, and then I also have the Angry Badgie, which I rock on my uniform vest at work. And yeah, I don't have that on me right now, but I can show you what that looks like maybe here later on. Okay, never mind. Here's Angry Badgie. Like I said, I wear this on my vest at work. Because I'm always angry. No, not really, but it's always represents kind of my love of Star Trek when I'm on my job. So moving on, sticking with Lower Decks, like I said, I got this big, huge Delta badge pin when I went out to Star Trek Las Vegas convention back in 2024, and this was one of the special show pins they had featuring the whole cast. And like I said, and if you've seen other videos of mine, I've met everyone, about 5 of the voice actors from that show. Yeah, go out and I'll maybe drop the link to that video as well on here. But yeah, this was really big for me. I bought after I got the cast photo done when I was out in Vegas. But they also had a few other special show pins. I've probably shown these on the channel as well, but like I said, this is a definitive collection of what I have. Here's Brad Boimler, and Tindy. Looking forward to meeting when I return to Vegas this coming year for the 2026 convention. She will be there, and I may even get this autographed. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, so actually 3 special pins for my whole big experience out in Vegas. But there's more. As I continue on here, I was always in the hunt for the rank pips, and I'll show on a couple of the other pins I'll show you here in a second what I've done with some of them. But Fansets also put out a set of actual pin rank pips. There's 2 missing. That's what I'll show you on one of my cosplays here in a second. But yeah, they also did a rank pips thing. Really cool. Like, they are actual pins. Most recently, this is the magnetic Delta that I'm going to be using on an upcoming cosplay that I'll be showing you here later on the channel. Stay tuned for that. I'll let you know about that, and I'll drop that, and I'll show you when it happens. But yeah, this is an important piece for an upcoming cosplay that I'm going to be doing for my return to Star Trek Las Vegas in August here of this year. But stay tuned. I'll get more into that later. And finally, well, not finally, but dropping a few little holiday pins on action for you. This was the major pin release for this year. I did an unboxing here on the channel of this one, and this one, and then a few other holiday pins I have is this magnetic Delta from Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Got Moopsy from Star Trek Lower Decks, Murph from Star Trek Prodigy, a pinned holiday Reef Delta representing Star Trek The Next Generation, and finally another pinned Badgie, which I wear this one quite frequently around the holidays, November, December. I wore it last year as well. But I'll show you some of my cosplays that have some of these Fanset pins on them. Let's get into that. Okay, first off, we're going to start off with my Star Trek The Next Generation tunic. And the pin there is a Fansets one too, and it's all magnetic. It's one of the magnetic ones. But yeah, there's cosplay one that I'm rocking some Fansets stuff on. Okay, cosplay number 2 is my Lower Decks Live tunic top, and it has a Fansets magnetic delta on it as well. Really cool story there. When I was out in Vegas, I had a malfunction with one of these pins, and I took it down to the Fansets booth, and they hooked me up with a brand new one, no charge. And I'm always grateful for Fansets for that. But yeah, let's continue on with my cosplays here. My next cosplay is the Star Trek Prodigy tunic top, and that is a Fansets Star Trek Prodigy magnetic delta. See, you got the clasps in there, but it's really sad that there wasn't more Star Trek Prodigy. That's actually, for an animated series, that was pretty good, and it was also a continuation of Star Trek Voyager. So if you guys are out there, look it up. It was on Netflix. I think it's been taken off Netflix, but I think there's other ways you can look for it as well. But that was a very good series as well, at least according to me. I liked it. So, but yeah, Star Trek Prodigy. Yeah, I have a cosplay of that as well. Next up, I have a Star Trek Picard Season 3 jacket. This is the actual Star Trek Picard Season 3 Delta. A little different on this one though, guys. I didn't get it in magnetic. It is actually a pinned Delta. Up next here, I have a Star Trek Strange New Worlds command tunic. Well, engineering tunic, I guess, for back when the show's supposed to take place. But I also have another magnetic delta on this one. And you can see how it clasps like that. Yeah. And finally, I have a Star Trek Lower Decks jacket from Hero Within, and it has the magnetic Lower Decks delta, but then I'm also rocking some of the Fansets rank pips, and these are from Fansets. They got the yellow backing and whatnot. But yeah, so that's just kind of a brief rundown of my Fanset pins that I've collected over the years. I want to thank them for making all these. It's really accentuated my cosplays, which I've shown you. But guys, go out there to Fansets and see if there's any Star Trek pins you like or want to pick up for yourself. They are going to start making actual stuff from the new series that just premiered last week here, Star Trek Starfleet Academy. So they're going to have all those deltas eventually here as well. They just did a drop of some new stuff. They got a very special 60th anniversary delta pin that's both in magnet and delta that is available now because it's the 60th year of Star Trek. It's their 60th anniversary. But guys, yeah, go out there to Fansets, give them some business. I love their stuff. It's very good quality. And from this video, I've got an idea for a new one coming to you soon. Stay tuned for that. And until next time, live long and prosper. Thanks for watching.